We just got some patch notes revealed for patch 22.0.2. This has Battlegrounds buffs and nerfs that we've been asking about for a while. So let's review them together and I'll give you my opinion on how strong or how good or bad I think some of these changes are. And so that you can be ready for the next meta. So let's take a look. So first of all, hero updates, we're gonna have Sneed, who armor tier changed from tier 1, 0 armor to tier 2. So he's gonna get a bit more armor because he got nerfed and he's worse now. Because his hero power costs 2. And I think that is probably gonna kill him. Like, Sneed was really strong when he first came out. He was really oppressive. But right now he feels in an okay spot. I don't see too many Sneeds going like absolutely insane. Even though it should technically still be really good with Avenge, which it still is. There's just so much higher roll. This hero power doesn't really help you as much. Like, tempo isn't really super valued right now. Triples and economy is better. So I think his nerf was probably good a while ago, and maybe that's why we see the nerf now. Maybe they were like, we're gonna nerf Sneed, and they wrote it down and they nerfed it. But the patch note comes so much later. Right now, Sneed is fine. So I think Sneed is gonna be pretty bad. The armor isn't gonna help him either. I think we'll see him, I mean, D tier. Almost the worst tier. Hot take, but I'm gonna stick to it. Tamsin! So Tamsin wasn't really playable, as her hero power was really bad. Let's see if she's playable now. Instead of 0, it costs 1 gold. Destroy your lowest health minion, give its health to all your others. Is now start of combat, so hero power, same deal. Destroy your lowest health minion, give its stats to all your others. So instead of just the health, it will also give the attack, meaning, you know, instead of if you have a spawn plus 2 HP on everything, it gives +2/+2 on everything, which is better, but it still has the same fundamental issue that it's not permanent stats. So it's not scaling, that it is your lowest health minion, which very often is just a spore in the late game or a selfless or whatever. So the stats don't matter. You don't need like +2/+1 on everything. Or it is super niche. It's good if you have like a gold rune that you hero power, then you get an extra +4/+4. But even then, like, it's too niche. It's not good enough. It's just a tempo-ish hero power, which you don't need. You need economy and triples right now if you want to do well. I think she's still going to be bad. I'm still going to put her in D tier. She's not F tier anymore. She used to be the absolute worst hero with the worst win rate. I think her win rate is going to go up a little bit because I assume in lower ranks where early tempo and strong boards still win fights, this is going to be okay. But in higher ranks, I think there's just no real benefit to giving also the attack value instead of just the health value to your units. And some armor changes. So Scabs got changed from 2 to 5 armor, which was tier 2, to tier 1, 0 armor, which I think is correct. Scabs is one of the stronger heroes right now, so him not having armor is probably fine. Then we have Kripparrian, who was the worst hero, now moved from tier 6 to tier 7, so she can just get one more. I don't know, this change doesn't make that much sense, but sure, more armor for Kripparrian. Deathwing also moved down a tier, so got +1 armor on average. Maleficent got from tier 3 to tier 5, so 2 tiers down, gets on average 2 more armor. Zorfang moved down from tier 6 to tier 7, that is on average 1 more armor. Patches moved from tier 3 to tier 2, that is 1 less armor, so Patches actually moved up a tier, so they think Patch is a good hero, which sure, he's okay. And Gallowix moved from tier 4 to tier 2, so Gallowix finally got bumped up, which I think is correct. I don't think Gallowix needs armor though. I think you can easily put Gallowix in tier 1, because 2 to 5 armor, Gallowix before could get 5 armor because it was 4 to 7, now Gallowix can still get 5 armor because it's 2 to 5. So on average you get lower armor amounts, but the fact that you still can get 5 armor seems probably not correct to me. Now, there's a lot of heroes that I don't see here. While I think Shadowwalk is keeping its armor, which is just absolutely insane. I think the fish as well, N'Zoth is still tier 2, while I think N'Zoth definitely could move down to a lower tier. There's still heroes that I think need to be swapped around, they need to be changed. Like HysteriA gets no armor, I think that's okay. But Flurgle getting no armor, I feel like Flurgle could deserve some armor. I wish they would also, instead of just purely look at the win rates, look at feedback from players, because win rates don't always tell the whole picture. But again, I'm not here to tell people how to balance their game. I just wonder why some heroes are left untouched and others are being touched instead. Like Maleficent, is it really more important to give Maleficent a bit more armor or Deathwing compared to fixing Shadowwalk, for example? Now, minion update, the minion pool also changed. Or not the minion pool, just nerfs and buffs have come through. Surprise Promodrake, everyone knows his beloved card from HysteriA with all the promo Taragosa combos. Now it still gives +1/+1 to adjacent friendly dragons, so we'll still give the same stats and same scaling, but it moved to a 3/3. So before, Promodrake was a decent tempo pickup. You could buy it and it's, you know, a 5/5 that gives some extra stats. It's a decent body on tier 4. Right now, you're not gonna take this anymore for tempo. You're not gonna slap this on a board just because it's strong, because it's a 3/3. It's only good if you have actual synergy, like a full dragon board, or mainly Terragostas, of course. So it's a card that if you find it early, even without Terragostas, you could consider taking it and then find Terragostas in transition, but now way less likely because you might end up taking too much damage for it. So I think Promo actually fell off a lot. It is a card that will still see play because it's still the main scaling from mid-game dragons, but it's a card that you won't see people pick up normally anymore to transition into or to use as a tempo spike. So this is actually quite a relevant change. I'm happy with this decision because I do think mid-game dragons at HysteriA were a bit stronger hierarchy. Dazzling Lightspawn, finally Avenge nerf. It was a 4/5, it's now a 2/5, but it's still Avenge to give +1/+1. This doesn't even seem like a nerf that's relevant. It's still Avenge 2 +1/+1, the scaling stayed the same. It still has 5 health. The health didn't change, so it's still just as hard to snipe. You know, whether you have the nerf version or the previous version, both of them will scale the same, will be the same likelihood to die or get sniped. So the only change is the attack, so maybe you take like 3 more damage or 5 more damage in the process because you don't value trade with a card. That doesn't matter as much anymore. Like, I think the issue is just the pure scaling that it puts out, not the fact that it has 4 or 2 attack. I don't think this nerfs enough. Dazzling is still going to be one of the best cards. I wish they would have touched this harder. And I scroll down and I see Mercenaries update. That's it. Okay, there's still Impatient Doomsayer. That is an issue. There's still, like, Green Thump is also pretty nutty right now. I just made a meme video about, you know, how toxic Avenge is because you either triple into force, hit it and win the lobby, or miss and die to the people that high rolled it instead. It feels so bad to play. The meta is pretty greedy. I would definitely like to see more nerfs come through. Maybe buffs to other cards, but I think mainly nerfs is what we need. Like, the meta right now is in super greedy spot. I streamed earlier today and got 3 8th place in a row and I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong? I reviewed my games together with chat and we realized that maybe I need to play greedier. I've been tripling into 6 drops, like every triple, instead of, you know, taking 5s. I take 4s still, but I just leveled straight to 5 and 6 on most heroes, and all of those games were first places and second places. Like, this meta is just all about leveling, greeding, getting triples in economy, and just going nuts on higher tiers. None of that was changed, and that is, I don't know. The meta was fun to play for a bit, but I feel like these changes are not gonna have a big enough positive impact. Like, Sneed wasn't a staple in this meta. Tamsin wasn't a staple, isn't still not gonna be a staple. These armor changes aren't gonna do too much. I feel like it's just gonna maybe nudge some heroes into a better win rate, but it's not gonna change the meta at all. And these card changes, neither. Like, this change I just talked about isn't gonna do enough. And Promodrake is the only card that actually, you know, might have an impact. Might make HysteriA worse, but the effect is still there. So I'm not gonna complain. We got some changes. I think most of them are good. Just the armor changes sometimes are a little bit questionable, but other than that, and the Dazzling change, I would have liked to see a bigger hit. But it is what it is. We can't change it. At least we got some changes, which I'm happy about. There's also no notable bug fixes. It is what it is. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this short breakdown, and I'll see you in the next one.